Chelsea corner. Deeper this time. More players at the far post, and the Wolves clearance doesn't achieve what they wanted to. Kante, Ziyech. Still plenty in Chelsea blue inside the area. Only for the ball to bounce away to Ruben Neves. Almost from Marcel to Jimenez. Still with Chelsea though, and Mason Mount. Ziyech. Ziyech battling. Players continue. Here's Thiago Silva for Chelsea. Most consistent spell of pressure, probably since the opening minutes of the half. Reece James with the give and go with Mount. James to clip one. José Sá got an important glove on it. This is Rudiger lining one up. José Sá will try and prevent the corner, and does.
Yeah, he does well there, the keeper, doesn't he? Decent ball from Mason Mount early. He has to come out and punch it. And then a speculative effort, I have to say, from Rudiger. But Sá does really well to stop that ball going out for another corner.
Chelsea throw. Marcos Alonso short of targets at the moment. Wolves unable to quite get it clear as far as they want to. Alonso forcing his way through, but not getting the throw. And that will help as far as Wolves are concerned. Decent rally by Chelsea, but I'd love to be a fly on the wall in their dressing room at half-time.
Well, you have to think maybe the first 2 or 3 minutes they had the better part of possession, and the last 2 or 3 minutes of the half. So as for the rest of the first 45, you have to say Wolves have been the better side. They've dominated in the midfield area. They've created a couple of decent opportunities. They've had a goal which has been disallowed.
And that is the end of the 45. It was a decent one if you're a Wolves fan. Daniel Podence able to conjure up decent opportunities for Leander Dendoncker. He got the ball in the back of the net, but it was disallowed after an offside against Raul Jimenez. Dendoncker's header after a good run from deep by the Belgian midfielder. The best chance really from open play that didn't go in for Wolves. Chelsea have work to do. There was times there where they weren't sure who should be picking up who. Depleted, yes. They finished strongly. Can they start strongly in the second period? Half-time at Molineux. It is Wolves 0, Chelsea 0.
And I don't think the news from Newcastle is going to cheer Chelsea fans up very much. We'll update you on that in a moment or two. As for Wolves, a lot of good play again today, but no goal to show for their endeavours. A common failing at Molineux. Ideally poised, one might say. Wolves 0, Chelsea 0. Steve Sidwell next here on Mola.
Ini rasanya super.
Mana muat.
Butuh yang lebih besar.
Nih, kita Deleza Jumbo. Ayo kita. Kulkas kalian ambrol. Deleza Jumbo. Muat semua. Besarnya nggak ada lawan.
Introducing the new Jarum Super Next with spicy aromatic blend.
Kopi Tubruk Gajah, racikan warisan tubruk sejati. Gulanya bisa ditakar sesuai selera.
Ngopi dulu biar greget. Tubrukan, yo, ngopi gajah.
Kopi Tubruk Gajah, racikan warisan tubruk sejati. Gulanya bisa ditakar sesuai selera.
Ngopi dulu biar greget. Tubrukan, yo, ngopi gajah.
Super Soccer half-time show. Still a long way to go, of course, in today's action. But Manchester City started the day on top of the Premier League, and they look set to stay there for Christmas at the moment. They're 2-0 up at Newcastle. Ruben Dias and João Cancelo are the goal scorers. And it's Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Chelsea 0, live here on Mola at half-time. Delighted to have your company, and a reminder, of course, that we head from Molineux to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Liverpool, set to try to close the gap once more in our second live game. It's been fairly even so far today. Wolverhampton Wanderers perhaps looking the more likely to score, but scoring goals has been their problem. And not very often have I sat in this chart and said, that is not really a Chelsea performance we can identify, given the standards that they set for themselves. We've got Doddy and we've got Steve Sidwell. A reminder, please, Chelsea fans, get in touch via the Polytron Access in a few minutes' time. Looking forward to hearing your take on it. What is your take, Steve, please?
I mean, look, it is what is expected from Wolves. Very stubborn, great positional play, working tirelessly hard to try and stop Chelsea performing. Chelsea are just missing that link, aren't they? That, you know, with Chalobah in the middle and Kante, very workmanlike, industrial, but they're missing that Jorginho pass, that Kovacic that's on the bench that can come on and maybe just create something. So they're going to need to try and catch Wolves on the break and wait for the gap to open.
Doddy?
Baik, ini adalah betul-betul performa yang dibutuhkan oleh Wolves, benar-benar bermain rapi dan membuat Chelsea tidak berkutik. Di sisi lain, Chelsea sepertinya rindu akan peran Jorginho, dan ini adalah sesuatu PR yang harus dikerjakan oleh Tuchel di babak kedua.
Thanks very much, Doddy. Let's get to the Super Soccer highlights here, Steve, from this first half. There hasn't been a great deal of goal mouth incident as such, but Wolves did get the ball in the net.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the ball going in the net in a minute. I said to you watching this, I don't see Chelsea as unbalanced as this very, very often.
Yeah.
It was easy for Wolves to build up the play there, wasn't it?
It was. This is when the game had just sort of opened up a little bit. We can see there Chelsea recovering really well, but what a great ball that is across the box. When you put a first-time ball across anyone's 6-yard box with that much quality and waiting for someone to tap it in, then you're going to concede goals.
Kante here.
Big talking point.
What did you think?
Look, if we will see maybe from the replay there, it does roll up the arm, roll on the chest onto the arm, and you're right, it goes into the angle of Podence there if he's going to go in. Very lucky with their Chelsea, they rode their luck. A lot of attacks have come down this left-hand side. We've seen Chelsea come unstuck in recent weeks.
That's not Chelsea, the way they defended that. Azpilicueta has come out right to the near touchline, and Marcus Alonso on the far side is completely asleep here. What's he doing?
Well,
leaving it to his keeper.
At that time there, they just adapted from going from a back three to a back four as well. So that was why it was in balance. And as the ball was in mid-air, Alonso was actually going out for the attack, waiting for Mendy to catch the ball rather than do your job and defend.
And what about generally? There's been a lot of back chat to the bench. There's been many times in that half, even more than usual, that Tuchel has come to the touchline to try to tinker, pardon the phrase.
Yeah.
That takes us back a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And does it all reflect on what we heard pre-game today in that very, very explosive interview, I wonder? You did suggest it would have its mark.
Yeah, they've just not got going, have they? Not just today, in recent weeks, and it just seems to be boiling over a little bit. And listen, in the adversity, we find out a lot about individuals and teams, and if they come away with 3 points today, it'd be the best 3 points of the season.
I absolutely agree with that. And the outstanding Chelsea teams over the last decade and a half have always found a way to get the job done. Doddy.
Permainan Chelsea babak pertama sangat tidak seimbang, banyak pemain yang tidak memainkan perannya dengan baik, sedangkan Wolves justru punya peluang yang lebih banyak. Ada 1 gol yang dianulir dan 1 peluang De Donker yang sayang sekali tidak bisa dimanfaatkan untuk menjadi gol.
Thank you very much, Doddy. We're heading out to Indonesia. It's time to hear from the guys and girls, the Chelsea fans, standing by to get in touch with Steve in the Polytron Access. Next.
this finish.
Playing in Harry Kane. Brilliant finish.
The Carabao Cup yet again for Manchester City.
Mana muat.
Butuh yang lebih besar.
Nih, Polytron Deleza Jumbo. Ayo dites. Kulkas kalian ambrol. Deleza Jumbo. Muat semua. Besarnya nggak ada lawan.
Terhenti karena nyeri? Semprotkan Salonpas Jet Spray. Dengan Japan Cooling Technology, dinginnya bantu redakan rasa nyeri. Salonpas Jet Spray. Let's move. Terhenti karena
ini rasanya super.
Ingat setelah saya sebutkan namanya langsung di-unmute ya. Yang pertama adalah Fadli. Silakan Fadli.
Oke, untuk pertanyaannya. Di saat seperti ini, striker seperti apakah yang diperlukan oleh Chelsea?
Oke, makasih Fadli. What type of striker that Chelsea need?
Well, they've got one. They've got Lukaku. Thomas Tuchel has said recently that he needs to get up to speed of the Premier League, and if they want to win this Premier League and throw a good title race down, they need to get him back firing soon.
Ya, dia memerlukan striker yang sudah dipunya padahal ya, yaitu Lukaku yang bisa mencetak gol lebih banyak lagi. Berikutnya yang kedua, silahkan Fajar langsung pertanyaannya.
Halo, everyone.
Ya, langsung.
Bagaimana menurut kamu tentang formasi 3-4-3?
Okay, will Chelsea continue to stick with 3-4-3 formation?
I think they will. This first half, they've been a bit more defensive in terms of going back to a 4-4-2 on the counter-attack from Wolves, but they need to start committing numbers if they want to win this game. So I think they'll stick with 3-4-3 and just be a bit more positive going forward.
Oke, untuk pertandingan kali ini sepertinya harus tetap di formasi 3-4-3 untuk bisa balance antara menyerang lalu juga dengan bertahan. Selanjutnya yang terakhir, silahkan Fidel, langsung pertanyaan Fidel.
Hi, thank you. What do you think the major factor that causes Chelsea's defense is underperform now?
Well, they defended so well at the beginning of the season. It's very uncharacteristic how they defended recently. I just think it's
of questions. Nobody needs me. These guys really know their stuff. And over to you, sir. Keys to success, second half.
Yes, I think Chelsea, on this counter-attack, they need to just attack with pace, be direct and be explosive, because when Wolves get back in their formation, very hard to break down. Wolves, can they keep this work rate up? They're working so hard to stop Chelsea performing and getting their players their heads up to get the pass in. Can they keep this up for another 45 minutes? And Chelsea, that front three, we need a little bit more. They need to take responsibility to try and win this game.
Terrific, Steve. Thank you very, very much indeed. And for obvious reasons, during half-time today, we have spoken quite a lot about Chelsea. So in the interest of fairness and balance, a little bit more, please, Steve, from you about Wolves. they're not scoring goals. They may be playing well,
Yeah.
but they cannot put the ball in the net. Now, what is that like for the players when this has been happening, not for a week or two now, but
Yeah.
maybe 2 to 3 months?
Yeah.
What's that like?
I mean, it's testament to them that they keep sticking to this game plan in working tirelessly hard, trying to score goals, but they're not just doing it. It's like going to the gym for months on end and not seeing any results, you know, in your own body. But, you know, Jimenez, you know, they've got the strikers that can do it up front. They've got Traore on the bench that can come on and make an impact. They've been superb defensively. Can they just get one goal and just build on that?
Clearly, Tuchel not too pleased. Saul is being prepared here at the start of the second half. And we've got a nice view of him warming up thanks to the Salonpas Jet Spray Stadium cam. Your thoughts on that one, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, he's had a tough start, you know, in his first season at Chelsea. Look, when you make a substitution, they've got to come on the pitch and make an impact. No Chelsea players really stood out today. Kante has tried to make things tick over for Chelsea. Can he come on and just be that bright spark? Huge pressure on him to come and deliver in this game now.
Well, the pressure's always on at a club like Chelsea, isn't it? You know, they're the champions of Europe. They're going for the Premier League title.
Yep.
Everything he's achieved in the game, everything that Thomas Tuchel has achieved in the game. It's all well and good, but you have to prove it season in, season out. Yeah. Let's get back to David Phillips and first Jonathan Beck.
He's got Here come Wolves. It was a good first half for them. Apart from the first 2-3 minutes and the last 2-3 minutes where Chelsea dominated. Wolves, you would say, were the better side in the first 45.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. As you're right to say, for the first 2-3 minutes, and then the last 2 to 3 in the first half. I thought they dominated possession, especially in that midfield area. And if it is Trevor Chalobah who is coming off, not only he's picked up a yellow card, but he had that injury with the collision with Thiago Silva, which might have just picked up that injury. But you have to say that Saul has now got an opportunity to play in that midfield area. A player that I know very well from his time when he's at Atletico Madrid. Just a little bit surprised that when he came on midweek against Everton that Tuchel played him as an out-and-out centre-forward, Pulisic going over to the left-hand side. But this will be more of his natural position, playing in the heart of that midfield area.
So on comes Saul. On his season loan from Atletico. They do have an option to buy him afterwards. Struggled, understandably, in an unfamiliar position, defended by Thomas Tuchel after fans weren't entirely happy. So Wolves get us back off and underway then. They had the ball in the net in the first 45 minutes through Daniel Podence. Ruled out for an offside against Raul Jimenez. They had an excellent chance to open the scoring again through Leander Dendoncker, who had a free header. Chelsea had pressure, but didn't have any serious threat on the Jose Sarr goal. And that will please Bruno Lage, who must have been the happier of the two coaches at half-time. Thomas Tuchel, at times in the first half, really animated and angry on the touchline with his side, who were giving away space in between. Mostly Cesar Azpilicueta and Reece James on the right.
Yeah, it was quite evident that Azpilicueta wasn't quite sure whether he had to go and pick up Marçal or wait for the movement for Podence to come in just in behind him. Just felt at times with Reece James he played a little bit too high, didn't really help Azpilicueta, especially in those defensive issues.
So Saul adds an experienced head alongside N'Golo Kante. And they'll be looking for more of what Reece James can provide in terms of an attacking threat. Wolves haven't conceded many goals and they kept it tight in that first half. They haven't scored many themselves, as we have underlined already, just 13. Only Norwich have fewer. They went 8 hours without one before Romain Saiss got the winner against Brighton. Chelsea have not struggled in that department. They haven't scored enough, probably, when they have broken the deadlock. And they have had a worrying lack of clean sheets in recent games compared to the early weeks of the season. Thiago Silva. There is a little space here, though. Pulisic was the target. Neither side really clicked for extended spells as an attacking threat. Podence buzzed around nicely. Wolves controlled things for much of it, but in terms of threat on Mendy's goal, Dendoncker header and the disallowed goal is as good as it got. That's Martial who makes good progress down the left-hand side.
Yeah, and you can also say that in respect of Chelsea going forward, that Jose Sarr has not really had anything to do either. So you'd have to say both defences are on top at this moment in time.
It has been fine margins for a while for Wolves, but they've nipped in here. Is there a way to pirouette away? They're getting numbers in support. Lovely overlap. It's just too much on the cross. Hoover had run to the far post. Now it's Daniel Podence. Podence against Rudiger, who stands firm.
Yeah, a good opportunity for Wolverhampton Wanderers over on that far side. Poor execution of the cross from Marçal to start off with. Good intervention from Raul Jimenez to receive the ball and retrieve it. And then eventually plays it out to Moutinho. Blind ball into Marçal and then just over hits the cross. Be disappointed with that.
It's an early Wolves corner. Once David Coote, the referee, is happy with that conga of players that Wolves have got lined up. Now they break as Moutinho delivers the set piece. It's a Chelsea head that gets on it first. Jean Moutinho disguising a little ball to Podence. Not well enough to stop Kanté. Podence will leave it for Keanu Hoover. So, to Alonso. Pulisic couldn't take it. It's by far the furthest Chelsea player forward. Neves, Hoover against Thiago Silva. There's only one winner in terms of pace. Thiago Silva's positioning, as ever, pretty good. Won by Dendoncker. That's the height advantage against Mason Mount. Wolves set off again. Podence has crossed to the other side. Jimenez. Couldn't quite work it through, but Wolves do still have it with Marçal. In the mist on the far side at Molineux. Kilman invited forward. Not the cross he was looking for. Easily away. It was a good position, actually, had they had someone with a little bit more guile on the ball, but Chelsea have got the free kick, much to the dissatisfaction of the home fans.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed with that, won't he, Max Kilman? Good position. Just poor execution of the cross. And there's a coming together of Moutinho and Kanté.
Ziyech. They'll be hoping to get him a little more involved in Chelsea's attacking play. So, Pulisic comes short, which allowed Ziyech to move into the gap. The ball's over, hit to Hoover. Sarr. They're confident enough playing out, but Chelsea have got players swarming all around. It's not always comfortable for the fans to watch.
No, that's right. They're trying to play the ball around from the right-hand side over to the left, but not able to get out because Chelsea have done really well closing down.
Back it goes via Saiss. Sarr into the afternoon sky. Kante goes down. It's another Chelsea free kick, which Mount takes a little quicker this time. N'Golo Kante. Through the legs to Rudiger. Now it's with Ziyech. Wolves not allowing much in the way of space. Alonso. It's fallen kindly here. Kante. So Thiago Silva. Now they've worked it to James. Finally, it does come to Mason Mount. There was a situation where he was screaming for it. Whipped in with Pulisic in mind. Wolves have got it away, but Chelsea are keeping the pressure on here. It's Azpilicueta. James, Mason Mount with a little dart. Pull back, and Neves has nicked it away.
Yeah, good movement down that right-hand side. Reece James into the path of Mason Mount. Has a quick look up. Pulls the ball back, but Ruben Neves does really well to just take that ball away.
Kante. It's the kind of time on the ball in the opposition half Chelsea just didn't have for long spells in that first half. That's at the feet of Rudiger, who looks to size up his options. Saul to Ziyech. Now the switch. Mount to James. Kante. Wolves can't get a hold of the ball at the moment until Azpilicueta slams it into his opposite number, Moutinho. Rudiger eventually forced back. Here they come again. Hoover away. There aren't many games Chelsea don't score a goal. Starting to knock on the door a little bit more consistently. Just the once when they lost to Manchester City back in September this season. Even though they were a little toothless in the first half, you'd back them to create good chances. They have done here. Ziyech has found Pulisic all the way across. And again, it needs a sliding intervention from Saiss.
Yeah, it's good movement by Chelsea. And what they're doing, they're starting to overload the wider areas. You can see that Ziyech and Alonso working well together. Pulisic coming across as well. Then over on the far side, Mason Mount and Reece James. And that's where they've just turned the screw a little bit more, as I've said, by just getting into those advanced areas and overlapping runs. And that's where they're causing Wolves all sorts of problems at this moment in time.
Here's Alonso. Ziyech through the legs of Kilman. Alonso off the upright. The referee had already signalled matching his assistant on the far side for an offside. I think Alonso knew he was looking along that line.
Well, it looks as if the Wolves players had already stopped anyway, waiting for the inevitable to happen. But even so, just play to the whistle.
Sol, who has given them that extra confidence in midfield to be able to push more players forward, I think. Knowing he's an extra last line of defence. Clipped over the top for Podence. He stayed onside. It looked tight. Out comes Benjamin Mendy. A little excursion and a good one.
I thought initially that Podence was in an offside position. Even so, good starting position, you'd right to say, from the goalkeeper.
Hoover's throw. Wolves enjoying a little bit of time outside of defensive duty now. Saiz, that's a really slack one by him. Chelsea on the front foot. He's temporarily remedied the situation. And now Wolves can look to move away. Jimenez spun away. Wasn't sure of his starting position either, I don't think.
No, you have to say it's really well read by Azpilicueta to start off with. Eventually they come into a couple of balls players. Saiz eventually gets it out. Jimenez, I thought, was in an offside position coming back. And they give the ball away again too cheaply.
Mount offloads it quickly. Conte has made that run from deep. Chelsea's players have mirrored that, and it almost rolled through to Marcos Alonso. Podence trying to release Jimenez, who would have had a free run in on goal.
But how important is Thiago Silva in those positions? Just reads the game so well, senses danger. A couple of Chelsea players are asking for a handball. I think it was off Roman Saiz when that cross came in.
We'll see if we can have a look at that in a moment. Here's Alonso, mine, and Ziyech. So, back to Thiago Silva. He just has an effortless air about him, reads the game, strokes it around. It's in the centre of that back three, so a little more protected from the intensity of it. James overlapping is Mount again, popping up more and more frequently in that wide right role. Further changes coming for Chelsea once we get a significant stoppage in play. But before that, let's have a look at that interception from Roman Saiz.
I don't know whether it just comes off his thigh, but you can see that he's actually leaning in towards the ball, which might cause a little bit of an issue. I say they were certainly undone with the penalty given against them last week on João Moutinho.
Chelsea throw then. An hour in now. No closer to discerning a winner. Okay, generally a point against Chelsea, even at home, is a good point for Bruno Lage. Rudiger just slows it down.
Well, if you have a look at the movement of N'Golo Kante at the moment, Saul is the one who's doing that holding midfield role, and Kante is trying to get himself in between the two lines, try and pick out a little pocket, working really hard.
Here's Thiago Silva, who's been the main man for building things up for Chelsea. Pings it out to that right-hand side, and there is, again, that neat interplay between Mount and James. Back in field they go to Sol. Wolves have snaffled it away, though. Only for Sol to win it back. Now here is Kante, driving forward. elegant stride, little touch. Now Ziyech. Sal out to Mount. He guides it to James. Chelsea throw. Final instructions being given down on the touchline by Thomas Tuchel to Mateo Kovacic, who will be seeing his return before long. Here's Ziyech, who I think is going to be the man making way. Chelsea still have it, and they've enjoyed much more time on the ball in this second 45. Conte out to that far side again. The best joy for Chelsea is coming down that right-hand side with Mount and James, but now they go from Rudiger to Marcus Alonso. Ziyech. Dendoncker. Again, it's a loose one. Hoover this time gives it away. Chelsea keeping much better control of possession. It's a more controlled display. Thomas Tuchel has obviously got the points across that he wanted to make. They have not been as open. They have been much more compact, much more in control, much more like the Chelsea you're used to seeing. That had drifted out of play, though. And now we will see the change.
We have to say as well, the inclusion of Saul has had a big impact, as you'd want from your substitutes, but N'Golo Kante just seems to have more of a free rein throughout that midfield area. He knows that Saul will do that hold a midfielder role, and you now Kovacic comes in. He's been out for a little bit of time, but Ziyech, I've been a little bit disappointed with his performance today.
It's a significant appearance for Mateo Kovacic. He reaches a century of Premier League appearances. 11 games out with a hamstring injury and then COVID. Doesn't seem like Hakim Ziyech is entirely happy in terms of being comfortable. Something has got him troubled. It will be a Wolves free kick. That's up and over the top for Marcel to chase. Good early ball with Dendoncker breaking from midfield. Also tried to win it back, and away it goes. Kilman had to get enough on that one. It's one for Jose Sa to deal with. Not much space for Saiss, but he has got away with it.
So that's fantastic work rate, isn't it? From Mason Mount to close down, but all stems with Christian Pulisic as well. Little combination there of closing down. You don't really want to be going as ones, but you certainly has twos and threes. Very unfortunate not to get a corner.
Podence. Wolves might be able to break it. Neves leading the charge. Podence alongside him. Jimenez would like it. Wolves have not moved it quickly enough forward, and Chelsea have been disciplined in getting back into their shape. Not had that kind of service he thrives on, has he, from wide areas as yet. Hoover looks to provide it. He's away from Alonso. Hoover doing really well, but not able to find the teammate with the cross.
That's what Hoover does really well, doesn't he? Getting himself away from Marcos Alonso. But you have a look at the movement from two Wolves players going towards the near post, Podence and Dendoncker. And it is the quite fashionable one, isn't it, when you get to the byline, to cut it back instead of having a little look, see who's over at the far post. But that time there was no Wolves player to pick out.
Good, strong run from Kovacic. Kept the ball and gained ground. Chelsea's combinations working much, much better. Mount, Kante. Mount had gone for the return. Well, he's not had many chances to do this, Keanu Hoover, but this was a good one.
Yeah, he does really well, doesn't he? 1-on-1, he's isolated against the fullback, takes him on, just has that little toe end, gets himself towards the byline, has a quick look, puts it back. But as I said, two players coming towards the near post. Really want somebody at the far post, maybe Marcel coming in at the far post. But you'd have to say good defending as well.
That is Marcel with the throw. Wolves not keeping hold of possession through the phases like Chelsea are able to do. It's a throw on that far side, and you're right, Sol in there, the experienced head, an excellent distributor of the ball, has certainly helped them keep things ticking over. Moutinho and Neves have not had that kind of time on the ball as yet. Hoover just straight offside.
You know, that's poor as far as Hoover is concerned. Should really be in an onside position. I don't know why he's taken a free kick inside the Wolves half, by the way. Surely it's got to go about 5 yards the other side.
It's generally how offside works. Kovacic, nice and busy since coming on. Rudiger, purposeful stride, excellent ball to Mount. No way through initially for James, but he's wrestled his way past Marcel. And Pulisic was waiting. It's Cody again who comes across.
Yeah, again, good combination down that far side. Good ball coming in from Reece James. You have to say it's well defended by Conor Cody as Pulisic is coming towards the near post area. Good defending, but good play from Chelsea on that far side once again. They are causing problems over there.
It's earned Chelsea a corner. Stooping is Hoover. It's out as far as Conte. And they'll go again with Sol. Wolves are doing enough. The referee has seen that as a little too much, though. The initial free kick was against Marcel. He's going to just come across and make sure that Wolves are the requisite distance and make sure that the ball's in the right place, I think, more than anything else.
Well, we saw that with Jimenez against Manchester City, didn't we? Where he stood, no more than about a yard away for a second yellow. I didn't think the first one was the correct decision, but even so, if you've got the opposition wanting to take a quick free kick, you best get out of the way unless you're going to pick up a yellow card or a second one, as it materialised with Jimenez.
Decent platform this for Chelsea. Set-piece opportunity with plenty forward. Thiago Silva's the target. It's Mason Mount. And it goes behind Vira Wolves player.
Yeah, I think it was Dendoncker which got the block in the end.
They've taken it quickly. Kovacic leaves it for Mount. The referee has blown the whistle. Offside on the return ball. Well, when you're going to take a quick corner, that is not the outcome you're looking for.
No, it's pretty evident that he's in an offside position, isn't he, Mason Mount?
Won't be long before we see Adama Traore add a little speed to the Wolves attack. Hoover with the invention. Jimenez does that so well. Held the ball up. Over the top it goes for Hoover to chase. The bounce is awkward for Thiago Silva, but once again he does it right. Kovacic helps it on to Sal. Conte. Chelsea attacking from deep this time, and it's Conte who carries it forward well. Swept ably by Azpilicueta. Now Conte's continued his run. Cesar Azpilicueta. Conte onside. Not the right cross as yet, but it has been an all-action display on his return to the side. Stolen away. Careless for the first time by Chelsea. Neves looking to thread it through. Well, you can usually rely on Ruben Neves for an excellent ball. Not this time. Thiago Silva tracking back well with Podence.
You know, he just reads the game so well, doesn't he, Thiago Silva? Saul was looking for a free kick, but David Cook, the referee, deemed it as being a decent challenge. As you're right to say, it wasn't the greatest of balls from Ruben Neves, but once again, Thiago Silva has been superb.
Kilman does like to come forward when the chance arises. Hasn't arisen too much in this game. Neves. Crowd just livened up a bit by the fact Wolves have managed to regain a little bit of possession. And that counter-attacking chance a moment ago. Not had too much to shout about so far. Kovacic. Careless. Marcel wouldn't sit down for it. Chelsea might just have got away with a rather unnecessary bit of play from Mateo Kovacic. Conte guards it more carefully. What was he thinking?
I haven't got a clue. It looks as if he'd just like to try and loop the ball over the advancing Wolves player, but got it completely wrong.
Well, both sides have shifted up a gear or two. And those gears will shift again when Adama Traore comes on in a moment. For the moment, it's Chelsea in control. Sal looking to slip it through. Conte! Another last-ditch challenge from Saiz. He's getting himself into some really good positions, N'Golo Conte.
Yeah, he's causing all sorts of problems, as I mentioned. Just putting himself into those little pockets at times. Question marks from the defenders. Do I pick him up? Do the midfielder go and pick him up? Very difficult, but once again, you have to say, good movement. Good defending from Saiz as well, once again.
That's one for Podence to chase. Now Wolves pressing Chelsea when they are in possession and looking to play out. Kovacic a little safer this time. Swept forward, inevitably Conte, whose engine does not show any sign of running out. Alonso to Pulisic. What a save that is. Chelsea moving through the gears. Pulisic bearing down on goal, and Jose Sá standing firm.
Yeah, that is a great save, but good movement here from Chelsea. All starts with Conte able to grab hold of the ball, just pirouettes, plays it into Alonso. Look at the weight of the pass from the left wing back. Plays it into Pulisic, and really, he'd be thinking, I've got to be scoring, but what a left hand that is from Jose Sá to deny the American the opening goal of the game.
Save of the game, there haven't been that many, but it stands out, and Podence makes way for Adama Traoré, who makes his 150th appearance for Wolves. Chelsea corner after that save, and it's a much easier claim this time. Off he goes, looking to engage the pace of the substitute. Remarkably, Adama Traoré does not yet have a goal or an assist in the Premier League this season. It's going to be a very different challenge for Thiago Silva now. Here is Chelsea's defensive linchpin. Out he goes to the right-hand side. They've had the territory, they've had the possession, but that still stands alone as their only really good chance. Pulisic effort.
And this is where I think they miss Werner, Lukaku, Havertz, out-and-out strikers, you know, balls coming into the box and then being able to put them away. So
Kovacic, Pulisic. Hoover behind. Goal kick.
I was a little bit surprised at that. I thought that was a Chelsea ball.
So did he.
But it has been a game of very few chances, hasn't it? I say the disallowed goal for Daniel Podence, the header from Leander Dendoncker, and now just recently Pulisic as well.
Kovacic. I think it was head rather than hand, but I can see what the Wolves fans were thinking. Thiago Silva, he can pick a pass too. Jose Sá helped out by Saïss. Well, they have scored late, haven't they, Chelsea? To win via a penalty against Leeds. They've also conceded late, which might be a concern when they drop points against Zenit St. Petersburg and particularly against West Ham.
What's interesting as well, Jonathan, that Reece James has now gone back into either the third centre-half or as a right-back, with Azpilicueta playing on the outside of him.
Yeah, that's a different kind of change for him. Azpilicueta's played that wing-back role. Thomas Tuchel maybe seeing Wolves are not offering much of an aerial threat.
I wonder if he thinks as well, by playing Reece James in there, maybe the threat with Traoré with his pace as well.
Certainly got more of it than Azpilicueta. Traoré on this side on that occasion. Forward come Chelsea again. It's been a common theme in this second half. Azpilicueta. So, he must have done himself some good with his performance so far, particularly given Chelsea's injury issues in central midfield. Guided out by Thiago Silva. Here he is again. Wolves not giving an inch. 5 strong across the back, but that has pierced them. Behind it goes, and it's come off Mason Mount last. It was another tight call. Looked like he'd just stayed onside.
Yeah, it was a very tight call, wasn't it? You'll see the movement, definitely onside. Got the time absolutely perfectly right. And that's what Mason Mount is good at doing. Just dropping off the shoulder, eye contact with the person in charge of the ball, and then he zips into those little areas in between the Wolves defence. But you have a look at Wolves at the back at the moment, you have to say they are very, very compact. Virtually as the 18-yard box, that's about as wide as they want to be. And that is why Chelsea is getting more and more joy down the flanks.
Mount is looking like the player to do it if Chelsea are to finally end this Wolves resistance. Here's Conte, who you can also bet will have a hand in it. He's been just about everywhere. It's too close to Jose Sarr on this occasion. Wolves preparing another change. Francisco Trincao receiving final instructions before he comes on. That's another lovely ball. Just taken away this time. Salah with the touch. Traore in a foot race with Rudiger. Rudiger had the head start and used it well.
Yeah, he's done well there, hasn't he, Rudiger? Sense where that ball is going to be played into the path of Traore. Just able to just get in front of the attacking player from Wolves and able to just shepherd that ball away. And that's why he's so invaluable for Chelsea.
It'll come in a moment with just under 5 minutes to go. Wolves have the throw. Well, I wonder, having given him final instructions, what might have changed Bruno Lage's mind?
Well, you'd just be thinking, well, who would Trincao come on for? You can see that Moutinho is working hard, Neves working hard, Dendoncker on the ball there.
The original idea was Raul Jimenez, whose number was about to go into the digital board. He's dropped into that midfield area now. As you can see, Traore is the furthest forward whenever Wolves have the ball or don't, as has happened for much of the second period.
And so if that is going to be the choice of Trincao coming over onto the left-hand side, it makes sense, wasn't it, as a 5-4-1. Just thinking, well, let's go and protect the 1 point that we do have. And if we can hit him on the break, suck him in and hit him with the pace of Traore, then so be it.
It has been a case of fine margins all season for Wolves. They've only lost narrowly in the opening games when they were creating a lot of chances. But it's not over yet as Conte prowls the edge of the area. Wolves have managed to get it away. Was half an appeal from some Chelsea fans. And the lower tier that stand on the far side. Alonso away from Hoover. Hoover's boot takes it behind.
Well, he does really well in the end, Hoover, doesn't he? Makes a little bit of an error, then gets a very important block. I don't think Mason Mount will be going short on this one.
Chelsea corner. Mount guides it in, and it is guided over by Rudiger.
Yeah, he was very closely marked, wasn't he, from Max Kilman.
Replacing number 9, Raul Jimenez.
Just over 90 seconds of normal time to go. Raul Jimenez bids farewell to Molineux, and Francisco Trincao will get the last few moments of this game.
I say he's worked very hard, hasn't he, Jimenez, but he's not really had anything from any sort of crosses coming in towards the 18-yard box at all.
They have succeeded in limiting Liverpool and Manchester City. They have succeeded in limiting Chelsea. Took Liverpool too late to score, didn't it? Chelsea might yet have that time. Into the last 60 seconds now. We'll wait and see how much stoppage time there is before Marcel and Mount have finished. Not worth any more than a ticking off, I don't think, from David Coope.
No, it's just sense and sensibility from the referee, isn't it?
That's one for Traore to chase, and chase it he will. Thiago Silva may not have the legs, but he's certainly got the footballing brain.
No, he's been impressive. He's read everything, hasn't he? And when you're up against somebody who is an out-and-out sprinter, the way that he's able just to sense that danger, be one step ahead of him, brain against brawn, if you want to call it. I'm a little bit surprised with Traore, why he needs to come back so far. If I was him, I'd be looking to play on the shoulder all the time.
Kovacic, Pulisic had Chelsea's best chance of the game, saved by Jose Sarr. Are they going to conjure one up in stoppage time? Saiss away. Wolves looking for a decent point, but not yet over the line. Alonso, helped by Trincao. Chelsea forced back a little with Rudiger. A minute of the additional 3 now elapsed. Conte. Mount, who stayed onside, the flag has stayed down. The cross is not up there with its best. Needed to be better.
Well, Roman Saiss wasn't particularly happy with the official on the far side, saying that Mason Mount was in a offside position. He's not, because Hoover is the one who's playing him in an onside position. Even so, you get yourself into a great position, and the delivery coming into the box is not good enough from Mason Mount. Don't say that very often.
Conte to Kovacic. If they are going to do it, Chelsea, and if they are going to keep the pressure up on Liverpool and Manchester City, they have to do it now. Thiago Silva. Touches for Mount. It's a good one. Azpilicueta goes again. The cutback not quite fielded, but Chelsea have possession still. They have territory still. It's swung in from deep. Hoover's flick. Kovacic. Rudiger. All the space on the far side. It's lovely. It's Conte. It's a goal-saving challenge potentially from Conor Coady. Chelsea still have it, but not anymore.
So what a challenge that is from Conor Coady on N'Golo Kante. Good movement once again, but this is a wonder ball from Rudiger over to the far side to Azpilicueta. Has to chest it down, he can't hit it first time. There's that ball, chest control, nice and sharp from Conor Coady, wasn't it?
He knows it. Chance is gone. And the chance of the win is pretty much gone. We're into extra stoppage time at the end of stoppage time. It's a game he didn't want to play. Shorn of players through injury and COVID. But the game went ahead and the win has proved elusive for Thomas Tuchel. That's it. Full time at Molineux, and Chelsea and Thomas Tuchel have dropped more points, lost more ground potentially in the title race. Christian Pulisic had their best chance in the second half. Well saved by Jose Sarr. Wolves stood firm, having had the better of things in the first 45 minutes. A game that Chelsea and Thomas Tuchel were hoping to get postponed earlier in the day due to COVID and missing players. It went ahead and Wolves have stood firm, denying them a goal. Only the second side to do that in the Premier League this season. It's a hard-fought point, and it won't help Chelsea in their quest to become the Premier League champions, but he'll be happy. They had their moments in the first half, but it's ended at Molineux. Wolves 0, Chelsea 0.
Of course, we'll be speaking a lot about Chelsea with our special guest, Steve Sidwell. But a word about Wolves here. What a side they'd be if they could put the ball in the net. They're difficult to play against. Mount and co couldn't break them down, but it's only a 0-0 again for Wolves today. The Mola Wrap-Up show continues shortly.
Quando ho tirato per la prima volta un calcio a un pallone, non pensavo che un giorno avrei giocato un mondiale. Pensavo solo alla gioia infinita di inseguire quella palla.
Minacce sotto forma anonimati.
Lo dicevo nelle lettere. Fabio era un pedofilo Fabio.
Questi messaggi sono stati inviati anche alle società sportive.
La sera prima mi arriva un messaggio a me e mi fa: state attenti di mano, a me sparangano.
All'improvviso c'è stato il caos.
Tu sei voluto andare via! Hai messo il zizzanne, sei stato tu!
Mi chiamo Fabio e questa è la mia storia.
Boots once more. Here comes the Premier League.
A stadium is like going to a theatre, playing football is like a ballet. I think it's looking at the way Messi plays, looking at the way Messi moves, and that's how we want to do it on stage. So we're really inspired by the way he dances on the pitch. He glides so beautifully that it makes it look easy. And I want that type of intellect to be felt in the show as well.
I'm really excited to see you guys, seriously, because I think we're in a place now.
People are going to expect you to talk about his life story. And I didn't want to go that route because all of that story is already out there.
really, really thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm sure you've seen the response from the crowd. Like they were saying, the connection you had with the public, it was there for everyone to see.
So congratulations. Love you and wish you a great, great tour.
The Mono wrap-up show. We're only halfway through our Premier League double bill, incidentally, but this is the state of it. Wolverhampton Wanderers kept Chelsea out in our first live game at Molineux. Manchester City, meantime, have racked up the goals once more. That's 11 in a week. They won 4-0 at Newcastle. Dias, Cancelo, Mahrez and Sterling. And this will trouble Chelsea fans, I think. Although you are third at this moment, the gap to the lead is now at 6 points, and every sign that it's continuing to stretch as Chelsea are frustrated once more. Wolves sitting in 8th in the Premier League. If they could start scoring goals, who knows how quickly they could rise. But it is Chelsea who are going home again with just a single point. A fractious day and a fractious time, therefore. We heard from Thomas Tuchel pre-game today, not very happy to get the game played at all. I doubt that his mood has been much improved generally by Chelsea's play. Second half, a lot of perspiration, a lot of endeavour, but when the chance came to win it, they could not take it, and it's becoming a fairly common refrain. Burnley at home, Everton at home, and of course that defeat in that thriller against West Ham United. In a title race this good, this simply cannot happen if Chelsea are set to try to go the distance. So we're delighted to have your company. We have Doddy once more, and we have Steve Sidwell. What are your thoughts, Steve?
Chelsea are on a wobble, aren't they? Like you just said there, they've been at the top of the pile for, I think it was 9 weeks in total. Yes. Now they've just slipped off the perch. Now it's time to see character. Listen, I know they're going through a lot at the moment, as are a lot of other teams with injuries, the virus and COVID. But they just seem to be now a little bit of a shake-up there, and you cannot give Man City 6 points advantage, especially the way that they're playing at the moment.
Steamrolling teams again.
Yeah.
Doddy?
Sayang sekali Chelsea ada di fase penurunan, kombinasi antara cedera dan juga COVID-19 membuat Chelsea sedikit goyang kali ini. Harus segera bangkit untuk tetap bisa bersaing di papan atas.
Thanks very much indeed, and a reminder, Doddy is staying with us, of course. Polytron access to come with the Tottenham fans and the Liverpool fans, but let's try and find a way to cheer up the Chelsea fans because, you know, this is not what they were expecting for their Christmas time. Super Soccer highlights reel here. The problem with it is there was no cutting edge from Chelsea either today, was there? And in fact, was there edge to their play anywhere today?
No, and the only way that they was going to get in was exactly like this, what Wolves had done. Quick, decisive play. You know, it was given for offside, and it was. You know, we can see there on the replay that coming up, Jimenez goes to attack the ball. But look, fast counter-attacking play, clearly offside there, a good yard, 2 yards. Podence does it ever so well in putting it at the back post.
But it wasn't well defended, even though they got away with it.
No.
This was sloppy by Chelsea and could have been punished on another day.
Yeah.
Where were all the back... That's Conte doing that.
And exactly what you just said there. Not well defended and sloppy. That really sums up Chelsea in the last 3 or 4 weeks, or 3 or 4 games even. And they just got out of sync, going here from a back 3 to a back 4 quickly, got caught out. Look at Alonso, look, defend the man, defend the cross.
Look at Rudiger and Thiago Silva.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
They cannot believe it, and that is what has been the errors for Chelsea of late. Just switching off. You know, they can't afford to do that at the top of the league.
Was it better in the last 20 minutes?
You know, it was. You know, they moved the ball quicker, and you can see here that Wolves try and get so many players behind the box. You're outnumbered in every attack for Wolves against Chelsea there. They huffed and puffed, but they just could not break Wolves down. And you've got to give credit to Wolves. You really have got to give credit to Wolves because they stuck by their game plan. And the players that we've had there, you know, the Kantés, the Mounts, this was the only way Chelsea was going to get in. Direct, quick, fast play. Long ball forward, one touch, great touch here from Pulisic. Gets into the box. And what a save there from Sarr. He does everything absolutely spot on, apart from putting it in the back of the net there, Pulisic. But that was the only way that they was going to get in.
Credivo, match stats here on Mola. So 4 shots to 8. But Chelsea, with those 8, only 1 on the target in a tight game. 9 corners. That's another story. They didn't make any headway at all from their corners today. And even though they had, nearly double possession, Steve, Chelsea couldn't penetrate nearly enough, as you have been saying. Dodi.
Ya, kecerobohan demi kecerobohan terjadi di lini belakang Chelsea. Untung saja tidak bisa dimanfaatkan oleh Wolves. Sebaliknya, tentu kredit untuk Wolves karena bermain sangat rapi dan juga bisa membahayakan Chelsea. Sementara dan tentunya hasil akhir adalah 0-0 di pertandingan Chelsea melawan Wolves.
We'll be trying to get a little pitch-side reaction as the fog begins to roll in again at Molineux. It's got very cloudy in terms of the title challenge here for Chelsea in recent weeks. More from Steve when we come back. We've got Tottenham Hotspur against Liverpool coming up very shortly. But before we let Steve go, Steve will nominate his Copy Gadget Man of the Match.
Hey, you're John Dutton, aren't you?
Yep.
That's not mine.
It's addressed to you.
Wait, I don't know what that is. Don't. Chelsea!
You hear me?
Oh my God.
What's happening?
I don't know. Just get to the bunkhouse.
Fair. Moral. Those are words men invented to scare and shame other men from taking back what they've stolen. What about right or wrong? There's no such thing.
Doesn't work out. The acrobatic effort is brilliant. Exchanges the ball. Oh, here's a real opportunity taken. Oh, yes.
You're gonna want to see this.
I want to see it.
Come and get it. I plan to.
Playing Ronaldo. It is Ronaldo. It's 2-1 United.
A lot of people watching this who say, I don't have any passion about anything. What do you say to them?
My advice to them is just get in whatever you can to really do it and enjoy it. That's the first thing.
That's how we're moving. If you don't, that's what we call TS5. Mola TV, I got you right now. Indonesia, everyone turning up right now.
Let's make him dance.
The Mono wrap-up show. We're wrapping up the performance of Wolverhampton Wanderers today. A 0-0 draw against Chelsea. We've spoken with Steve Sidwell already about Chelsea's shortcomings in the game. Wolves battling away for a point against one of the big guns as they've done in previous weeks. Where are you going to go for your Copy Gadget Man of the Match from this game today, Steve?
Well, it could have been a number of Wolves players. I thought Conor Cody was absolutely sensational today. Very, very good. Led the line really well. But for me, it was the goalkeeper, Sarr. In the defining moments of the game, he was the one that made the difference. A great save we'll see here. The one and only times that Chelsea really got in, and when it really matters to your team, are you there to be counted on? Yes, you are. Fantastic from him today, and he's been a stalwart for them all season so far.
Magnificent the way he's risen to the challenge of playing in the Premier League. Only 3 first-team years at Olympiacos, really. Copy Gadget, Man of the Match. Let's hear from him now in the Polytron Game Insight.
Jose, well played. A clean sheet against the European champions. Do you see today as a very positive performance?
For me, I think we played for the win. So
Of course, it's good against one big team. 1 point, okay, it's good, but we want to win, and we are like happy and sad in the same time.
You made a very important save in that second half. Is it fair to say that Chelsea were a much bigger threat in that second half? You couldn't really create as many chances as you would like?
Yeah, because in the half time they have time to adapt our game, and was a little more difficult for us in the second half play, but we continue with our strategy, and we try our best.
You've played the top three almost in a row now with Manchester City and Liverpool. It says 2 defeats and 1 draw, but it could have been so much more, couldn't it? You've been very close in these games.
Yeah. Like I say, we play always to win, and with the defeat we was sad, and I think we didn't deserve, but this is the football.
Well, have a good Christmas. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, the same.
Polytron Game Insight bersama kiper Wolves Josesa yang menyatakan bahwa targetnya sebenarnya adalah kemenangan, tapi tetap senang dengan hasil 1 poin ini. Sempat diserang di babak kedua, tapi Wolves bermain sangat baik dan juga tetap pada strategi yang diinstruksikan pelatih.
Thank you very much, Dotty. Nobody has come out to speak to us, I'm sad to say, so far from Chelsea's point of view. Maybe that's a story in itself at this time, given the interview beforehand from Thomas Tuchel today. But in the Polytron Game Insight, we can now hear from a man Steve nominated as another contender for the Copy Gadget Man of the Match, in fact. Outstanding again today. Connor Cody now in the Polytron Game Insight.
Connor, are you pleased with the point? Yeah, of course we are. Listen, we're playing one of the champions of Europe. We won the Champions League last year, so I think we'd be daft to say we're not pleased with the points. Do I think we could have got something a little bit more? Yeah, of course I do. But second half, listen, they're a top team. Sometimes you've got to defend, and we knew we'd have to defend at times. And as we've done it, we've dug in, we've made sure we've kept 0 on the board. And I think it's always good playing against a world-class team and keeping 0 on the board. So yeah, happy with it. Yeah. Did the game kind of pan out the way you thought it would? Because everyone thought it would be a very tight game. You don't concede many at home, nor do they away. Yeah, it's always something we want to do. We don't want to concede goals. It's simple as that. We work a lot on our defending. We work a lot on being together and compact and organised. And it's important we keep on doing that. We don't go away from that. Do we want to then go for the game a little bit more? Of course we do, and I think we've done that in spells, especially in the first half. I thought we obviously made them change a little bit in the first half of how we were playing, because we worked a lot on how we wanted to play, obviously, since the Brighton game. So I thought that was pleasing, but we knew we wouldn't have to defend at times. I said before that they're a world-class team, world-class players, and it doesn't matter who they've got out, they bring somebody else in who's just as good. So listen, it's a good point on the board, and we'll move forward now to what.
Connor Cody mengaku sangat senang. Menahan imbang juara Eropa adalah sesuatu yang sangat luar biasa.
Well played, Dotty. We are racing the clock just a little bit, Steve. Your final thoughts, please.
Well, Chelsea backs to the wall now, isn't it? Man City are going really well. Liverpool look like they could get a good result again today. They need to get strong over this Christmas period to get back into the title race.
We've loved your company, as always, Steve. Thank you very much indeed. We wish you a very happy Christmas and your family. Do please come and see us again as soon as possible. Dotty's going to stay in the chair. I'm staying here as well. It's Tottenham Hotspur against Liverpool, joined on the set here by John Barnes on Mola in just a few minutes' time.
I gave my opinion, and now you can do with it what you want. I have my opinion.
Yeah, but and from your opinion point of view, I mean, is it fair that other games didn't have to happen, but
I
you
don't
had to
compare
play?
to other games. It's just our situation is not safe, and we are talking about protection of the player and the safe environment, and it's not safe. I would be not surprised if the next tests show up and we have another positive, because, like I said, we have 4 days consecutive positive tests. How should it stop if we sit in the bus, if we have dinners and we just stay together like nothing happened? Hopefully it does stop, and yeah, okay, we hope for the best.
Are you concerned now, though, that the next games will be in doubt?
I don't care. I don't care actually so much about the next games. I just care about the next tests and about the health of the players. Because today we let Mateo Kovacic play 30 minutes, one day after 10 days of COVID. If I catch it, and hopefully I don't catch it, I'm not so sure if I go the next day running after 10 days after I have it. So we make him play, and who takes responsibility for that? We have N'Golo on the pitch with one training. We have Trevor Chalobah with 2 training sessions, and maybe another injury. So yeah, okay, it's like this, and need to keep on going if they say we need to keep on going.
Just in terms of the game itself, probably the best chance for Christian Pulisic could have won it.
Yeah, of course. It was tough for us in the first half. We started very well in the first 5 minutes. Then we lost a bit confidence, and we lost a bit confidence. We were a bit shy and always a step late. We struggled to adapt to their structure, which was a bit surprising, but maybe also not, because with Trevor and N'Golo in midfield, we never played like this, and they come from injuries. So yeah, we grew into it, and the second half was very good. I'm absolutely happy with the second half. We had this one big chance that we were waiting for, because it's tough to create chances against Wolves and it's tough to score against them. So this was the one chance. We have a clean sheet again, a well-deserved clean sheet, so a lot of positive things. And yeah, keep the fingers crossed now that it stays like this at least.
Thanks for talking to us. Thank you. Thanks, Thomas.
Okay. Dicky Lowe's, Antonio Rudiger of Chelsea going for Sky Sports and PLP in 3. Antonio, is that a pleasing point for you, bearing in mind the circumstances?
Circumstances, yes or no. Of course, the build-up to the game was not the easiest, but we have to look at the table, and so we cannot be happy with that point.
What was crucial today? Because it was a game with very few chances. They had one disallowed first half, and you had a great chance in the second half with Pulisic, and the keeper makes a great save.
Yeah, it's luck is not on our side, because we don't bury these type of chances, and then it's difficult to get away 3 points.
Is the manager pleased with the performance overall, though, as again bearing in mind those circumstances?
Yeah, the first half, I think it was not our best. They dominated the game, but for me, in my opinion, they were not dangerous. And the second half, we had a good uplift. We showed character, but still, at the end of the day, we cannot be happy with this point, because looking to the table.
And how difficult has it been as one of the players with COVID going through the squad?
Yeah, like I said before, it's not the best circumstances, but still you have to. We still, in my opinion, we had a competitive team out there to do something, and when you want to win certain of things, there's no excuse.
Did you have to get in the right frame of mind for the game, because the club had asked for the game to be postponed, but the Premier League has rejected that? Did you have to make sure you were ready to go?
No, we drove here, so everyone was with the mindset of okay, we are playing, and we were ready for it, and but. Obviously, it's not that easy, but still, we were with our mindset to win the game. We came here to win the game.
Thanks, Antonio. Thank you. Thanks, Steve.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nicky Davies, Bruno Lage, the Wolves boss going for Sky Sports, and PLP in 3. Bruno, does that feel like a very well-earned point?
Yeah, when you look for the game, yes, I think we deserve, but I think we deserve more than 1 point the way we started and the way we played the first half. So I think we prepared very well the game. I think we dominate the game. We have more ball possession. We create our chances.